Capture the flag. Capture the objective. Scavenger. We have the enemy flag. Enemy flag down.
Hey everybody, Saiyan41 here, and I figured I would do a quick commentary for tips to help you get a MOAB. Now I know that I'm a little late getting to this, and everybody and their mothers probably already posted something about tips to get MOABs and so on, but this is just things that I do in general to help me get MOABs, and I figure my tips might help you. So let's start off with your weapon selection. Now the important thing is to use a weapon that you're comfortable with. And I would say the ACR and the MP7, M4 and the SCAR are all good weapons to use when you're going for MOABs. I personally have been using the P90 here recently, and I actually really enjoy that gun. But to each their own, you know, whatever weapon you're comfortable with using is the weapon you should use. Now the weapon proficiencies, I prefer focus myself most of the time. I don't like having my shots bounce all over the place while I'm shooting at somebody and they're shooting back. So that's just one proficiency I prefer to use. Now, I know a lot of people like using the kick proficiency, and that's a good proficiency too. But in just my personal opinion, focus seems to help out a lot more. Now we'll go on to your perk loadout. I would suggest for your first tier perk to either use Scavenger or Sleight of Hand. Sleight of Hand, of course, for your fast reloads, and Scavenger so you don't run out of ammo as quickly. Scavenger is very important, but Sleight of Hand is also, you know, important as well. The way I normally do it is I'll run Sleight of Hand as my first tier perk, and then as my first specialist unlock will be Scavenger, because like I said, ammo is very important, especially when you're going for a MOAB. You got to get those 24 kills. Your tier 2 perk, I would suggest running with Assassin, mainly because there's UAVs every 5 seconds in this game. So you know, that's what I would run as Assassin. Your tier 3 perk, I normally run Dead Silence on most every class. I don't like being heard by enemy footsteps, especially if you're playing on the Xbox, because a lot of people use Turtle Beach headsets nowadays, and it's just simpler to not be heard, so that way you can sneak around on the enemies. As for your specialist loadout, like I said, either your first tier would be Sleight of Hand or Scavenger, depending on which one your first specialist unlock, depending on, you know, whatever your first tier perk was. Your second specialist unlock, if you have Sitrep Pro, I would suggest Sitrep Pro, due to the fact that it allows you to hear enemy footsteps better, and you get an idea of where the enemies are at, so that way you're not running into any ambushes, and you can kind of pre-fire around corners. And as for your last tier unlock, I would suggest Stalker Pro. Give you that faster strafing ability. That's important as well. Now, the only other tips that I can give you on MOABs is, I don't want to say be a camper per se, but you do want to play defensively. You don't want to go rushing down into the enemy spawns and everything else. I mean, it's just, you know, you don't want to take out a whole lot of people at once. You want to kind of pick them off little by little. And the more enemies you're up against, the less chance you have of coming out of that skirmish alive. So playing defensively is very, very important. You know, like I said, you don't want to run in there and just go guns a-blazing, because you won't survive, I would say, 90% of the time, unless you're Sandy Ravage, but, you know, that's a different story. Also, pay attention to the map in the top left corner. You want to know where your enemies are at all times. You know, I mean, you want to have a general idea of where your enemies are. You want to kind of check your areas a little bit before you make any moves. You know, if you're playing domination, I wouldn't say don't play the objectives. Just kind of stay away from them, unless if at all possible. Game modes like kill confirmed, that's not much of a problem. Now, I like in this gameplay here, I'm kind of just sitting in a corner right now and kind of getting a feel for where the enemies are. And here in a second, when I get the flag, I'll see an enemy coming that way. So I will kind of stop for a second, and I'll take this guy out, and I'll wait for the other guy, and then keep going. But, I mean, that's where enemy awareness comes into play. I mean, you want to know where they're coming from. You also want to know where your teammates are, because there's a good chance that where a majority of your teammates are, the enemies are going to be spawning in the different area. Now, the only other thing I can say is to play the maps and get to know where the enemies will spawn when your team are in certain spots. If you know where the enemy spawns are, there's a good chance you can avoid running into an ambush, or like right here, I come out and I did not expect that guy to be there. If there'd have been a half-decent player or anything, if he'd have been looking my way, that would have ended my streak right there. So you definitely want to pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention to the enemy spawn. And like I said, just kind of play defensively. Don't go rushing in, and don't go guns a-blazing or anything like that, because like I said, it won't work very well for you. But other than that, I can't really give any more tips. I will say, if you're running with a team, have your team run you know, streaks that will help you. See, you know what I mean, let them know that you need like UAVs and stuff like that, and that way, you know what I mean, that gives you an idea where the enemies are and so on. It's always important, especially if you're playing with a team, to kind of get your team knowing what you're planning on doing. Say, hey, you know, I'm trying to go for a MOAB, and get your team to try to help you a little bit. I mean, it can be a team effort, especially if you get them to call in like UAVs and stuff, because those are very important as well. Also, make sure they shout out where the enemies are coming from. Like if they know that the enemies are coming down the right side on the staircase on this map, or, you know what I mean, through the house in the middle, or through that street on the left side. You know what I mean, shout-outs from your team is very important. It can go a long way to helping you achieve your MOAB. But other than that, I really don't have any other tips I can give you. Like I said, if my tips were helpful, please comment, rate the video, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know what your experiences are with MOABs. Maybe you know some things that would help me. You know, like I said, it's just whatever. Just leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video, and subscribe if you liked what I had to say. And if not, then I guess it was nice talking to you, and have a nice day. Thanks.
Enemy dropped our flag. UAV online. Almost won. Stay focused. UAV online. Time's almost up. dropped our flag. MOAB ready for your go. Friendly MOAB incoming. Store their flag. Mission accomplished. Très bien.